This place reminds me of Robin Hood, Sherwood Forest. I was born in Nottingham and I used to travel to Sherwood Forest on quite a regular basis. I used to be so obsessed with forest and going to visit places, to have adventures, to have fun, to just think back at the times of the stories that I heard about Robin Hood and what he stood for. And I know there's different versions, and Robin Hood changed on quite a regular basis, really. He fitted in with the environment that he was currently in and facing, the climate, for example. But I'm going to go and talk about the Robin Hood that I know about and what he stood for in Nottingham and what he's so famous for me as a child, and from the history that I was taught as a child about Robin Hood. And that's why we used to go to these places like the forest to imagine and just to play out different roles and let our imagination run wild with ourselves. Now, in today's world, we could do with a Robin Hood. Robin Hood stood for, to me, that he took from the wealthy and gave to the poor what they paid back, what they was paying out for, and they were going without and struggling and not eating, for example. And Robin Hood took from the wealthy to give back to the poor the taxes that they paid for and all the other things that was paid for out of the poor people's pockets. Now, to me, Robin Hood was an hero. He was a hero to me, and I still feel that he is a hero today. He stood for justice. He stood for the poor. He stood for making sure that people weren't taken advantage of, for example. That's what Robin Hood meant to me as a child. And we could do with leaders that are like Robin Hood, that will make sure that the poor and the vulnerable do not suffer, and that the rich live wealthy and pretend as if nothing is happening wrong here. Now, Robin Hood would travel through the forest looking for finances, looking for money, for example, to give back to the poor people that paid out of their money that they didn't have, for example, to help support the country where they lived. They worked in unity for the better good, so that it could be seen as they were working together to build a stronger country, for example. So I'd love to hear your comments about what you thought of Robin Hood. Do you think that Robin Hood stood for justice? That Robin Hood stood for making sure that the poor did not suffer? What is your belief of Robin Hood? Like I said, I was born in Nottingham, and I know the history that I was taught in school, as well by my peers, about what Robin Hood stood for. And to me, we could do with that today, because it is not about taking from the poor to give to the rich, the wealthy, who don't need it. It is about the rich putting in to society to help the vulnerable and to help people that have also paid into society to survive, so that everybody has an equal right to live a comfortable life. That is what I believe that Robin Hood stood for. It was about equality. It was about looking after the vulnerable. It was about ensuring that people did not suffer. What are your views about Robin Hood? I would love to hear your comments. Just click here in the comments about what your views of Robin Hood and what Robin Hood stood for to you. What it stands for. Like I said, I'm here in the forest here, and it just brings me back to Robin Hood. I used to hear the stories about how he rode on his horse with his merry men, for example, and they took from the wealthy and brought the money back to the poor that had paid their taxes and they wanted to pay to help make the country better. That would be to help pay for defense, that would help pay for things that are needed for the country to make the country strong and great, for example. So what are your views on Robin Hood? Because I've explained my views on Robin Hood, and like I said, I believe that that is what's lacking today, is that we need a leader that is like Robin Hood, that is for the people, that thinks about the people and the future of the people, for example. Like I said, I was born in Nottingham and I used to visit Sherwood Forest on a regular basis, and it was so beautiful to be there. I could feel the spirit of Robin Hood and also the Merry Men. And we've all watched the film, haven't we? Robin Hood and what it stood for. And that's what I believe that Robin Hood did stand for, is from the films that I've seen, for example. Now, I know that it goes back many, many years and it takes on different forms, for example. But I'm referring to my generation, what we knew about Robin Hood. I would love to hear your comments about what do you feel about having leaders that are like Robin Hood today. I would also like to say to you, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel and also for your likes as well, because without you, this channel would not grow and it goes out to more people. So hit the like and subscribe button, share this, and I would love to hear your comments about what you think about Robin Hood. And look at this beautiful forest that we are in and that I'm able to film from. I'm very blessed to say that I'm able to do this. But today I wanted to talk about Robin Hood and the leader that he was. So have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care. Thank you. Bye.